with a smile on your face. When you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are viewing us live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. My name is Dwayne Nurse, one of your favorite youth hosts. And, it's always a pleasure to bring a youthful vibe, a youthful perspective on the Tobago Updates television program on a Wednesdays. This morning, I am joined with...
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Natalia Nancis. Also, assuming that I am one of your favorite hosts for this morning, it's nice to be here at Portmore, Scarborough for Youth Wednesdays. I am also joined with...
Kaylee Lewis. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Natalia. And good morning, Tobago. As Dwayne would have said, it's the middle of the week and we're here to give you that youthful vibe to spice up your week a little bit. We want to send a special good morning to all of you viewing us on the varying platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and channel 102 on Amplia. So guys, how has your week been so far?
My week it began very hectic. I wasn't on the island yesterday and Monday. I was pleased though to see that Carl would have put on a big jet for those persons traveling to Trinidad on Monday. I was very much pleased with that.
Well, when I see that you had the time of your life while you weren't here.
Excuse me? Time of my life?
Yes.
I mean, I have time and I have life, but I don't know what the off is. But let's not go down that road this morning.
Kelly, how was your week? How is your week going so far?
My week has been all right so far. Not too much happening. It's been pretty chill, very calm. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah, but I you seem to be very excited for Carnival. Any particular reason why Carnival brings you so much excitement?
I am not. Let me not say I'm not excited for Carnival. I mean, it's always a very festive season. You hear a lot of new songs and that kind of thing coming out. A lot of entertainment within a space. But to say that I'm excited for any particular event, no, I don't think I'll be going to anything for the Carnival season. I'll be indoors.
All right. So enough about Carnival. We're going to go over to Kaylee Lewis for news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Dwayne and Natalia. I am Kaylee Lewis, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 11th October 2023. The Dragon Field gas agreement with Venezuela, including both domestic gas and LNG, remains confidential, said Energy Minister Stuart Young during the 2024 budget debate. Young also discussed restructuring Atlantic LNG in Point Fortin and praised the PNM government's achievements while criticizing the former People's Partnership Administration's energies management. In response to the opposition queries, Young emphasized Trinidad and Tobago's strong energy relationship with Venezuela, even in the face of multiple nations' interests. Meanwhile, Young acknowledged the 2018 negotiation of a commercial term sheet and credited the government for overcoming U.S. sanctions, which caused delays in the Dragon Gas project. In other news, Rural Development and Local Government Minister Faris Alwari reported that his ministry successfully generated 7,000 jobs in the past fiscal year across various entities. Notably, this effort created 2,759 jobs in drainage and irrigation, 990 in the municipal police, and 179 in the Rural Development Company, directly benefiting 745,000 people through enhanced services. Alwari also discussed digitizing records within the ministry and addressed the impact of delayed public procurement legislation. He emphasized the importance of public funds in serving Trinidad and Tobago citizens, which was supported by government MPs. The Tobago Forestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program wishes to inform the public that full payments have been disbursed to the contractor of Vanco Engineering Communication Systems Limited, responsible for compensating workers in the Argyle project. However, amidst allegations of unpaid fortnightly wages for September 2023, It is important to note that checks have been signed and collected by Mr. Robert Stevenson, who represents Vanco Engineering Communication Systems Limited. Despite attempts to contact Mr. Stevenson to resolve the issue have been proven futile. The Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program is working on resolving the matter. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds.
All right, thank you very much for that, for reading our news in 90 seconds, Kelly. So we want to go over to birthdays this morning, and we have quite a lot of birthdays this morning, don't we?
Yes, we do. October always seems to be a very hot month.
I don't
terms
want
of
to hear
birthdays.
that. March is still the best month.
Right.
Anyway, so our first birthday goes out to Mr. Desi Allen. Happy birthday goes out to you from the Tobago Updates family. And who do we have next?
We have a belated birthday today to Candice Jones. Happy belated birthday to you.
And the next?
Next on our list, we have Fallon Louis. We want to send a very special happy birthday greeting going out to you, Miss Fallon Louis.
All right. And next we have Mr. Andre Phillips. Good morning and happy birthday goes out to you from the Tobago Updates family.
We have Miss Helena Isaac up next. Happy birthday to you, Miss Helena Isaac.
Next, we have Ria Sampson. Good morning, Miss Sampson, and we're wishing you a very, very happy birthday.
Right, and we have Mr. Jonathan Jofield. No, sorry,
No,
wrong person. Mr. Sket Soverall. Happy birthday goes out to you.
And I think that was our
We
last
should have one more birthday.
birthday this morning.
Mr. Jonathan Jofield. Anyway, happy birthday goes out to you as well,
here
Mr.
we
Jonathan Jofield. Happy birthday from the Tobago Updates family. And that concludes our birthdays for this morning. I wonder if Kaylee would be willing to give us the rundown this morning.
Sure, no problem. First on our list, we have Minority Leader Kelvon Morris. After Mr. Morris, we're going to be speaking with Pearl Almond George. And last but not least, we're going to be speaking with Alifa Telesford. She's the owner of All Things Tobago. So viewers, we have a very packed, interesting show for you all here this morning. Remember to stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live. We're heading over to Tobago in Focus.
Exciting things are happening in sport in Tobago, particularly within the Sport in Education unit of the Division of Education, Research and Technology. This unit aims to expose primary school students to various sports within the school year at their schools and is responsible for enhancing these skills. Sport in Education Unit Sport Officer 1 Marcus Daniel and Asha Legal explained 90% out of the 40 Tobago primary schools participate in the program.
At the schools level, that's the foundation. The athletes are actually learning. They dabble in different sporting disciplines. Sometimes you see an athlete track and field and really good, then you see them doing football, then you see them doing cricket. And at this level, it's just about sport for all and about participation. And you also find scouts and some clubs and some coaches will be at these events looking to scout athletes for their clubs. And we as a sporting education unit, we welcome clubs taking these talented athletes into their club to enhance what we put out there on a yearly basis in terms of events.
Football, track and field, cricket and netball are the sports offered at this time, but students will have the opportunity to participate in a lot more sporting disciplines in the future, according to Ms. Legal.
I didn't hear anybody mention swimming. Is swimming not on the list of these
well,
disciplines?
due to the fact that it's going to be reintroduced,
Hopefully soon we actually intend to add a few new sports to the roster. We just can't reveal it yet until it's released.
Apart from the usual football and cricket,
there are some new ones that are going to be added, so that is something to look forward to.
And I think widening the gap here, widening the play field for our young players.
Let's give them different opportunities.
The United Nations Rights of the Child specifies the right to play and recreation, and many children have taken their newfound love of sport to gain success on the club level, representing Trinidad and Tobago on national teams, and even attaining scholarships. The Sport in Education Unit assures that no child within the Tobago educational system will be left behind.
25 years of real good dashing food, delicacies, and enjoyment. Well, it come around again as we celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival. This year promises to entice your taste buds again on Sunday, October 15th at Bloody Bay from as early as 10 a.m. All are invited to the celebration filled with craft, games, but most importantly, blue food. This is a brunch-style celebration and will also see the likes of Super Blue, Nyla Blackman, Preety, Gerard Balfour, Joe Archer, Keyshawn Jack, and Junior Calypso star The Shay Saul, and more on Sunday, October 15th, 2023. Come celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival.
Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike and ride on the bike and ride on the bike. She's loving the ambience of my. Somebody call the ambulance for this chick. I just long, I don't really quick. That's why she's loving me. Better when you done, you might walk with a stick. Meanwhile, you bend down, let me see you boom flick. Let me beat it up just like. I know you're loving me. When coming to I like the plenty. Sit on my riding like a Bentley. Full of that need to empty. Take your time and ride on the bike. Take your time and ride on the bike and ride on the bike and ride on the bike. 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 Ride on the 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 bike.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. This morning, we're continuing budget talks, and we're talking with Minority Leader Kelvon Morris. Good morning, Mr. Morris.
Good morning to you, and good morning to your co-host. Good morning to Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Mr. Morris. We need some more volume.
So we're getting a little bit of audio issue, so we're just going to take a short break, clear it up, and we'll be right back.
Yes.
Tobago Carnival, Caribbean Vibes presents Tequila Sunset. Tequila Sunset. Scarborough Esplanade from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's a cooler fete like no other. Bring your squad and we'll take care of the vibe with your top TNT and New York DJs, surprise guest artists. Tequila Sunset will be an epic event you will never forget. Early bird tickets are 199 TT or 30 US. Get your tickets online on islandetickets.com or frontlineticketing.com. For more info, call 475-6218 or 754-7344. And New York, 917-561-974. All drinks must be in plastic bottles and no ice or chaser allowed. Tequila Sunset, October 27th, Scarborough Esplanade.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. We do apologize for that little technical difficulty. Mr. Morris, are you still with us?
Yes, I am hearing you all clearly. Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we are. Wonderful. Okay, so let's kickstart the conversation with the very basic question. As minority leader, what are your immediate thoughts on the budget reading?
Well, I found the budget to be quite a positive step in the right direction for the country, Trinidad and Tobago. As usual, Tobago, the allocation to Tobago was consistent with the percentage allocation, about 4.3%. And you know, while we here in Tobago would always clamor for more because there's a need for accelerated development on the island, we also have to, you know, look at what we receive and hold those who are responsible for managing those funds to account. What I have a challenge with is looking at the last two allocations where Tobago received in 2022 about $4.4 billion. We received, 2021, that is on the cusp of this new administration coming in, they would have benefited from a $4.4 billion budget allocation. $2.4 billion. They have now received in 2022, $2.5 billion. And in 2023, they are going to benefit from $2.6 billion. So you're seeing year on year an increase in the allocation from the central government. What you are not seeing commensurate with that is the level of development on the island. And we all have to ask ourselves, after 2 years of this management under the Chief Secretary, Honorable Fali Chavez Augustine, whether we are better off as Tobagonians. And for me, when I speak to the people in Darrell Spring, Wim, and the people across Tobago, a lot of people are saying that this administration has failed to meet the expectations of the average Tobagonian.
No, Mr. Morris, you would have touched on this last week, but I want to ask it again because I want your perspective on it. The DRC would have recommended between 4.03% and 6.8% for the allocation for the THA. However, we would have received 4.36%. Why do you think Tobago consistently receives the lower end of the spectrum?
Well, I think it's when you have a pie to share, like any family, if you have resources to share, you will try to balance off the needs of everyone. And therefore, you know, where we are within a twin island state, where you have needs across the country, there will always be a jostling for resources, and for some reason, traditionally, Tobago continues to receive the lower end of the spectrum. We would have had an opportunity, as you would know, the PNM would have advanced a very progressive autonomy legislation for bill for the people of Tobago, where Tobago would have automatically received 6.8%. That was rejected by Mr. Fali Chavez Augustine and his team. And we are seeing right now what they are actually asking for is within that very 6.8%. That so had they supported that bill, Tobago, without having to clamor, having to beg, having to make noise, would have benefited from 6.8%. Having said that, one of the challenges I want Tobagonians to be quite honest, the PNM administrations of the past would have had to make do with the very same 4.3% of the national budget, and the PNM was able to do a lot of things for the benefit of Tobago. We saw community centers being built, health centers, young people being able to get financial support to go out abroad and study. We saw where recreational facilities were developed. We saw the PNM being able to engage and hire young Tobago. As under this Fali Chavez Augustine, what we are seeing is young people being terminated, getting their contracts terminated. What we are seeing is that the contractors are not being paid. What we are seeing is people who depend on the social services, they cannot get the social support. The farmers who depend on TATCO to take their products, they are not being paid. And it is a total mess. It is a total chaos. And as a Tobagonian, a young Tobagonian, I am quite disappointed with the way this current THA is managing. Let's take, for example, the Executive Council. When last have we heard from our Executive Council? Do we even know if they meet as an Executive Council? Because in the past, what would have happened after every Executive Council meeting, the leadership of the Executive Council will come to the Tobagonians and report to us as to how they are managing our business. And what is even further disappointing is I recall this Chief Secretary upon his inauguration promised transparency in the way the Executive Council conducts its business. He even promised to expose and allow the media to come into the Executive Council so that we all can see the deliberations and have an appreciation for how the island is being managed. To date, that promise has fallen on deaf ears, and at this point, it has been almost an entire year that this Executive Council have not called a press conference. We don't know what is happening.
Understood, understood. Regarding the allocations for Tobago, the minister would have indicated a $64 million increase. However, my sources are telling me that this $64 million increase is to pay what we call the recurrent expenditure and the increase of 4% to the public service. And we are seeing a $60 million decrease, however, in the capital development allocation for Tobago. What is your take on that, given your previous comment that you know the Tobago is not where it should be as it pertains to development?
So, Mr. Nurse, what I believe you might be aware, and what Tobagonians have to appreciate, that is unlike other places and other parts of the central government, the allocation Tobago receives can be reprioritized. And in fact, you would see in November, the Chief Secretary would come with something called a reprioritized budget. And what that means is the THA has the wherewithal to move around monies in a simple layman terms. They can move money from recurrent to development, and it's all about priority. So saying that we only got $260 million to do new things is really is the THA really misrepresenting the truth, because as you would know, in the past, the PNM administrations would have organized its business in such a way that even when you had shortfall on the development side, they would suppress certain things on the recurrent and then allow them to do the things that they believe was important. What does this administration believe is important? You would take $2.5 million staging the sea. We've rented a building in Trinidad, which no Tobagonian has received the benefit for over $2 million. Empty building, gone down the drain. We have given away $300 million to contractors that does not reside in Tobago. How do you develop an island when you are not channeling the resources in a way that the people of the island would benefit? And that is my challenge. I am saying we in Tobago need to start to really mind Tobago business. It cannot be that you just name yourself Tobago People Party, but you're not treating the needs of Tobagonians. And that is the challenge we have right now. MP Kujo said it best. When you look at what we received, this administration received an additional $100 million in the last fiscal. Did they tell us that? No. They are going to also benefit from other development of the central government in the island. In fact, the A&R Robinson Airport alone is an additional $400 million. You have other things that would be happening through WASA, where they'll be dredging the Hills Road Dam. You have other transfers to even old age pension that is paid. That is not paid from the THA's allocation, that is paid from the national allocation. So we can't just look at it in a very narrow-minded way. We have to also appreciate the kind of work that the central government does along the sixth schedule. And you also have to also understand that there are opportunities for the THA to collaborate with the central government and get even more. And this is the kind of approach that will bring the optimum benefit to the people. It cannot be about fighting, because I want to dispel something that is being said, that this central government is punishing Tobagonians. How do you punish somebody by giving them more? If you look year on year, the THA has received under this administration an increase in their allocation. And more than that, they have received it in a more favorable manner. They receive their allocation on a quarterly basis, and they received every cent of it. The previous PNM administrations during the period 2015, due to the challenge, they were receiving their allocation month to month, which made it even more difficult to govern. And even so, the PNM was able to meet its commitment. They were able to treat and employ more people. But what are we seeing at this point? TATCO, 60 workers home on the breadline. We are seeing community partnership unit, over 40 people home. Where you're seeing monitor and evaluation, another 30 people. CPEP, they fired over 50 people. That is 120 Tobagonians. When you look at the construction sector, you have blacklisted 4 of our main contractors who were employing over 1,000 people. That is families, that is Tobago people who are now unable to provide for their families. And that is what I call political wickedness.
Understood, understood. But giving your comments, Mr. Minority Leader, can you safely say that the challenges that Tobago is facing is not unique to any specific political party? However, it has been a shared burden, given that Tobago has always received the lower echelon of the DRC Commission regarding the allocations from the central government. And from 2015 to when the PNM was last in office, they received the lower echelon. So is it that you're saying that the central government is doing well enough to prioritize Tobago's development? Because Tobago is a very small place, as many might argue, and one might argue that a lot of the development programs nationally should be piloted in Tobago, given its small and easy to develop nature. What is your comments on that?
So let us take it a step back. And the thing I started off by saying, the 4.3% has been a consistent figure thereabout across administrations from 2000 to present. What has been different is the way how those resources, those monies have been managed. We have seen during the Orville London era how those monies were focused on developing Tobagonians, from education. Young people like you, myself, we would have been able to benefit from a policy that said we would assist Tobagonians to get education. We would have benefited from a policy that said that, and Mr. London made no bones about it, that we would, the areas in which Tobagonians can contribute towards development, that is in the construction sector and all of that, we would ensure that those opportunities favor the Tobagonian. And we saw a number of Tobago contractors being developed to the point that some of them were able to diversify. So you have people who ended up in the hospitality sector. That is why we can benefit from a Comfort Inn and so forth. You would have seen that we would have said that we wanted to develop world-class athletes. So you would have seen the kind of focus on developing sporting facilities throughout the length and breadth. We also seen the fabric of Tobago is about treating with the village, and it's very sad that a party that campaign about building people village by village, child by child, they have dismantled the community spirit. What is happening at the level of community development? The PNM focus on building community centers so that we can have a place to congregate. And this is how the resources of Tobago were used during the era of the People's National Movement. It was about developing Tobagonians in a developed Tobago. What are we seeing at this point in time? The funds that we are receiving, it is being spirited away. Little to no Tobagonians are really seeing the real benefits of what we are receiving. When you have a road paving program that only favors contractors from outside of Tobago, how do you develop the island? When you have priority projects such as a stage in the sea that brings absolutely no benefit to the people of Tobago, how do you develop the island? When you have an agricultural sector that has declined by 7%, you have tourism that is lagging, and you have a secretary that refuses to appoint a qualified and competent CEO. How do you develop an island? When you have an administration that does not even have an economic development plan, there's no foundation, there's no roadmap, there's no guidance to how we develop the island. I ask you a question, how do you develop the island?
Okay, Mr. Morris, we're running out of time, but before we wrap up the interview, there's one thing I want to ask you. In the past, for quite some time, many stakeholders have been calling for a new building for the Scarborough Secondary School. However, the allocation as it relates to developmental capital doesn't really seem to take that into consideration. What strides do you see the THA as well as the central government taking to ensure the safety of our students?
So do you know at this point, the PNM administration, central government approved a $300 million facility for the THA. And as far as I understand, only about $175 million of that was utilized. So it therefore means that the THA at this point, they have within their remit the ability to access over $125 million as far as I understand. It may not be the exact figure, but there's an opportunity there to access that funding. And that funding, if they really believe that building a new school for Scarborough Secondary is a priority, then there's nothing stopping them from accessing such facilities to ensure that the education of our children is placed at its very optimum and at its maximum priority. It is, and I'm saying this, the challenge we have at this time is about management, is about planning, and it's about priority. What does this administration see as their priority? And when you look at it, when you look at what they are focusing their energies on, it is not the things that are beneficial to Tobagonians. They are focusing on things that are beneficial to themselves. And it is sad that an administration that campaigned on fixing things is destroying this beautiful, and I would use their slang as I go out, they are destroying the smallest, little, beautiful, most island on the planet. They are destroying this island slowly but surely. And I am calling on Tobagonians, let us put party aside. Let us put Tobago first and let us together to rescue Tobago from these misfits.
Okay, Mr. Morris, we want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us this morning. We really wish we had more time. Hopefully you can come back another time to continue the conversation.
Yes, I really enjoyed this, so I'm available and hopefully we can chat some more.
Most definitely, and thank you for always being available as well. Okay, so viewers, we're going to head to a short break. Next, we're going to be with Miss Natalia Nantes as she conducts her interview. So please remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
We are going on a new journey. Tobago now has its very own carnival. She like loud music and
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Mount Pleasant Credit Union Back to School Loan Promotion. Loans up to 15,000. Requirements: job letter and a payslip no more than 1 month old. Utility bill, copy of book list, salary deduction, 10% down payment for self-employed persons, evidence of income and expenditure, bank statement, 12 to 18 months, other supporting document. Promotion ends October 18. Contact us at 639-8375 or 8108 or check us out on www.mpcutobago.com or email us at loans@mpcutobago.com. Mount Pleasant Credit Union's Back to School Loan Promotion.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
As for us, is something good for the youths, those residents of the village as well. So, Mrs. Pearl, I'll start off with a very easy question, right? I just want to know a little bit of the backstory of the academy itself. What motivated you to start this academy in Plymouth?
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world at large. The motivation came about as a result of villagers, past students, elderly people coming to me and to the representative of the area and asking for if I could only get another chance, another opportunity, I will do well. If I could only get a chance to go back to school. You see these children that wasting the government's time. If I had that opportunity, I will make good on it. And so from time to time, you hear people telling you. One boy came up to me, a gentleman came up to me and he said, Miss, you see, I measured this thing. I don't know how to calculate it, you know. He said he needs help. He has someone to help him. So all of these things coupled with a prophetic word I got in 2007 and another prophetic word from my apostle last year that I would be opening a school, so to speak, to help people. And then another pastor said the same thing. So that is how this academy was birthed.
So it was through spiritual means, it was through a request from your villagers. Being an educator yourself, you decided to take it upon yourself to open this academy, to give them another chance, to give those in school at present the opportunity to excel forward, be ahead of the class, yes?
Truth be told, it is a combination of both, but I put Almighty God first because the word came and then the people came and now it has been rolled out.
Right.
Last night we had our
launch.
Official launch.
Yes. All right. So now that we know that the academy has been started and the launch, yes, you said was last night. We'll get straight into the meat of the matter, if so to speak, right? So when do classes start and where will the classes be held? What days? What times do classes start?
Classes will be starting on Monday and classes will be held on a Monday to Thursday schedule. And yes, last week, one teacher decided in giving back to the community, because the whole program is based on giving back to the community. Teachers have committed their time, and she said she cannot commit during the week. but she will do so on a Saturday. That is literature in drama. We will be using the literature, the topics taught, and the drama will be put into it. So you dramatize the topic or the lessons that are taught, that will be taught. And it is a different slant, a slant that is needed in society. It brings a greater understanding to the student, because you would teach them the topic, and then you would go on and you will test them. Sometimes they do not fully understand, and I believe that is one of the reasons why we have so much failure in literature per se and the English language. So when we add the drama into it, it is going to give them, some of them, a visual understanding, and so they would learn the capacity to learn, the desire to learn, because it is more practical, would be greater, and we expect that the pass rate will increase. But you know what I want to mention? It's that the system focuses on pass rate. Plymouth Academy of Opportunities wants to focus mainly on life, how to live life, not only success rate. Because what happens is that you may have certain abilities not in line with the academics, but it may be a skill. And so what we want to focus on is getting the people involved, not only in academics, because we are all inclusive. We want to get everybody whose desire is to come to the academy to be able at the end succeed in their venture, whether it's a skill or whether it is academic. So we're not leaving anybody out. So we are catering for fourth formers, third formers, the elderly, young people who would have missed the opportunity. You might have gotten pregnant at school and you couldn't finish. We embrace you. But also, and life skill is very important. I realize that the time is limited.
It is.
I also have online right now Dr. Agatha Carrington, who will speak on how this Plymouth Academy of Opportunities, how it will impact the environment, the community, and the nation at large.
All right, so thank you. While we are getting Ms. Carrington ready to speak to us on our last question, I see that Mrs. Carrington has already joined us. Good morning, Dr. Agatha Carrington.
Pleasant morning to you. Pleasant morning to Plymouth and environs.
All right, so before we go to Ms. Carrington, we just want Ms. Almond George to just give us a highlight of what is offered at the Academy. You mentioned drama, but I know you offer a wide range of the CSEC subjects. So we're just asking you to touch on those, and then we'll go into our last question for this morning.
We offer the Academy English language, mathematics, human and social biology, English literature, EDPM, electronic document preparation and management, office administration, Spanish, conversational Spanish, information technology, economics, art and design, social studies.
And a wide range. Yes, a wide range.
We also offer short courses, reading for meaning, elements of computing system, entrepreneurship, as I mentioned before, I think, a religious education, which was added because this program was birthed not only by the people who require, help, Almighty God.
Yes, of
so
course.
I will be teaching that segment of it.
All right, that is the religious education part of it. All right, thank you, Mrs. George. So Miss Carrington, Miss Dr. Agatha Carrington, welcome again. So my last question to you both, I'll give you all the opportunity to answer. What is the overall aim or the generalized goal of the Academy from the both of you, as you would have had a very big contribution to this Academy itself?
Let me just start by saying, Dr. Carrington will go.
All right, go ahead, Dr. Carrington.
All right. So this is an important investment in the people of Plymouth and environs, because this academy would serve as a sort of platform for knowledge sharing and intergenerational learning, if I may say, because experienced individuals will be able to pass on their expertise to the younger generation, thereby preserving valuable skills and traditions. Apart from that, this investment in skills development is important in today's environment because with the rapidly changing job markets and so on, we want persons to acquire new skills. And for those who do not yet or didn't have the opportunity to pursue formal education, there's a second chance, as it were, to be able to acquire those skills. Another important area I want to mention is the matter of civic engagement. What this academy is going to do is to encourage and there's the opportunity for civic engagement of our citizens, because as that happens, they will have more advocacy and will be able to engage much more in what's happening in the community. The area I'm particularly interested in is the one of health and well-being, because not because it is just my own discipline, but because we want to pursue health and wellness, healthier lifestyles, better mental and physical well-being for our community, thereby producing a healthier Plymouth. Those are important areas for us, and this investment is going to do that. But the long-term impact, I think, is the transformative kind of outcome that we would see, because as more persons become educated and reskilled, the entire community will benefit, and we see a much more sustainable change in our community. So this is a great investment in the future of our young people and our community as a whole.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Carrington. And for Miss Alman George, you said that you wanted to thank a few people for their contributions to your academy. So we'll wrap up with that. Your thanks, and of course to your teachers and your sponsors to the academy. As Dr. Carrington would have mentioned, it's a good investment. So we see where the sponsors will step in.
But before I say thank you to our sponsors, I just want to note our vision, our motto, and our mission statements. The vision at Plymouth Academy of Opportunities is to be a leading educational institution that empowers individuals to seize opportunities, fulfill their potential, and make a positive impact in their communities, nationally and globally. Our mission is to create a brighter, more inclusive future where every individual, regardless of their past academic experiences, through personalized attention, innovative teaching methods, and a supportive learning environment, is empowered to believe in themselves, overcome challenges, and embrace the opportunities that await them. Our motto is creating opportunities and securing a brighter future.
All right, then.
So let me
go into your thanks. We're wrapping up now. We're a bit pressed for time, but we're hoping that in the future you can join us to just give us a update on how your academy is going and everything. So before we finish off, we'll just have your vote of thanks to your sponsors and your teachers.
Okay, I would love to thank the 18 teachers who have committed their time to work at the academy. I would also like to thank our sponsors, and I want to name a few. I want to name, would like to name Rapid Response. My God, they jumped out. Guys AutoZone, they contributed tremendously. Patrick Parks, Mr. Christian Tam, who rolled out desks and chairs and said he is in it with us. I want to thank Miss Linda Louis. I want to thank all those who helped in preparing, the Plymouth Community Center, the Plymouth Anglican School, and the Bethesda Multipurpose Center. There is where our classes will be hosted from 4:30 to 5:30, and we will also have a 7 to 9 class.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we're wrapping up now. For those of you just joining us, we are here with Mrs. Pearl Alman George, the founder of Plymouth Academy of Opportunities, and we were joined by Dr. Carrington, who also plays a major role in the contribution to the Opportunity Academy. Yes, for further information, because our interview was a bit short, for further information on the Plymouth Academy of Opportunities, please feel free to contact 1-868-326-0851 or 373-3396. Thank you very much for viewing, and for those who are still with us, we encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
We in Tobago for Carnival with the award-winning band Fog Angels, Juve and Mass.
You don't know it's your boy Young Brother representing for Fog Angels, Big Bad, Juve and Mass Band.
2 days of excitement, 2 days of jam on the road with Fog Angels, Juve and Mass Band.
Push back, baby. Push back and Fog Angels, baby.
We're Tobago's premium, all-inclusive Juve and Mass Band that consists of costume, free drinks, free food, goodie bags, makeup artist, t-shirt cut designer, pre-party, after-party on the beach, live DJs, biggest artists, 40-foot music trucks, tight security, VIP service on the road, and a decade of experience.
Fog Angels now take bamboo, girl. Fog Angels, Juve Band. Take bamboo, girl. Ha! Fog Angels, Mass Band.
For your premium all-inclusive packages, check Facebook, Instagram, or visit www.fogangels.com or call 492-9454 or 788-5481. Juve and Mass in Paradise. Play safe, play sexy, play Fog Angels.
Fog Angels make you feel it, feel it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Tobago is described as a majestic island where unspoiled traditions, natural beauty, and undiscovered gems merge to create the ideal Caribbean island. This morning, two of our youth hosts, Mr. Luke James Trim and Miss Jada Charles, will be taking you on a very majestic journey with the All Things Tobago company. So stay tuned and let's see what they have to offer.
Good morning, and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you live from the Bon Accord Lagoon. Today we will be collaborating with All Things Tobago. If you're looking for that sweet vacation experience, one that gives you that full Tobago feel, that Tobago culture, All Things Tobago has you covered. I am Luke Trim, and I'm also joined by
Jada Charles.
Oh, Jada, how are you feeling this morning? We are one with nature. How are you feeling?
I am so excited. Look around. Tobago is beautiful. It's paradise. There is no other word to describe it as clean, green, safe, and serene. Nature is all around us. I'm feeling relaxed and I'm ready to take on the day. So if you are looking to get that wonderful feeling, if you're looking to experience Tobago fully, you can do so with All Things Tobago.
Yes, viewers, like I said earlier, we are collabing with All Things Tobago.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are away and probably forgot what Tobago looks and feel like, don't worry, we are going to make you remember. All right, chatting with Alphalia Tillesford, co-owner of All Things Tobago. So, Miss Tillesford, tell our viewers and our listeners what All Things Tobago is all about and what was the inspiration behind you starting this business?
Okay, well, All Things Tobago is a digital marketing platform for Tobago's tourism. My partner and I, the co-owner of this company, Shanros Daily, we saw that there was a gap that needed to be filled, and that is Tobago being digitally marketed. And we wanted to fill that gap, so we decided to start a network with different tour guides, different captains, fishermen, to be able to sell what they have to offer to people on a global scale. And we document that, we put it on our social media platforms, and people tune in, we start to get a crowd. And I believe that post-pandemic, All Things Tobago have a huge part to play with the traction that we brought to Tobago on a digital scale, whether people participate in what we do or not when they come to Tobago. We still contribute to people coming to Tobago because they've seen us online. So All Things Tobago is generally a digital marketing platform to show people what there is to do in Tobago, right? The product that came out of that is this bamboo raft that we are sitting on now, but it started as a digital marketing company to show people what you could do when you visit Tobago.
Okay, that's nice. And you would have mentioned the bamboo raft. So it brings me to question now, what does All Things Tobago offer? Because it seems to me that it gives participants the Tobago experience. So besides the bamboo raft, what are some of the services offered by All Things Tobago?
Well, All Things Tobago recently started offering a premium type of massage where you could get a massage at the beach, at a waterfall.
Oh, nice.
We're taking it to that level because we fully endorse tourism, wellness, and being out here with nature is just so, it make you feel so well, you know. I'm pretty sure you're feeling so good to be here right now.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so we promoting and we endorsing tourism wellness. So we try to do things different. So, for example, the massages at the waterfalls, we take tours around the island to secluded beaches as well, such as Cotton Bay. We go to Little Tobago, we do snorkeling trips, fishing trips, bioluminescence tours, you name it.
Okay, great. So I'm going to hand you over to Jada now.
Okay, hi Alphalia. I've been listening and I've heard all the products that you're offering. And I'm sure the viewers like myself would like to know, how can we book and get on one of these bamboo rafts, get on to Cotton Bay? What is the process?
The process is you could WhatsApp us at 390-4135. That's 868-390-4135 on WhatsApp, or you could DM us on Instagram at All Things Tobago. You're free to call as well, the same number, 390-4135, to make a booking for any of the tours, any of the activities, to inquire about anything, because we do customized packages for people as well. Yeah.
Okay, and is it daily or do you have certain days when you do certain tours or?
We operate every single day. Our operation times usually start from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. But every day you just need to make a booking for whatever you'd like to do, and we'll make ourselves present to pursue that booking.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Very accessible.
Yes.
So Alphalia, you have spoken to us. We have gotten that idea of what All Things Tobago is. And I think it's time for us to get that experience now, Jada. You agree?
For sure.
Right, so let's go.
Hi everyone, we are joined by Taeyeon, the owner of Art Elite. Welcome. Can you please tell us what your brand is about? We are all dying to know.
Thank you for asking. So Athlete is a partner company with All Things Tobago, and as aforementioned, All Things Tobago and Athlete integrated, we try to offer luxurious experiences throughout our island. So we specialize in massage therapy and tours. So we go to hikes, we also do massage at these hikes, we also go to villas, we go to certain hotels. So you can get your massages also at beaches, and it's all but a booking away.
Okay, I am very excited. I feel like we just need to get right into it.
Most definitely.
And you know, it's a very beautiful background, beautiful scenery. It's I don't know, there's no better place for me to get a massage.
For sure.
Well, I think I heard enough. I'm ready to get my massage.
Definitely.
If you are ready.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, so can you tell us more about your brand? What was the inspiration behind starting it?
Definitely. So Athlete really is all about health, wellness, and I try to integrate it with nature always.
Right.
That's us being right here also.
Yeah, I
on
see the
this
beautiful background. This is very relaxing.
Correct. And so what this nature does is that it allows a different somatic experience for my massages. So not
Okay.
only are you being relieved from certain tensions within your muscles, but you're also getting oxygen and different just hormones and endorphins from being out here. So that is what we try to provide, that
Okay,
experience.
I heard you talk about hikes. Are there any places in Tobago that you all do hikes? Where do you go?
For sure. So we, in Tobago, the ones that are being currently advertised would be Argyle Waterfall, Bicastara Waterfall, and Palatuve. Those three in particular, because a lot of persons may go to them, but again, we provide a different type of service.
Okay.
And so we are excited to provide those three for now. We also do hikes in Trinidad, so it's not only a Tobago thing.
Okay.
And massages
I
can
hope my
also be
Trinidad
accessed.
viewers are listening.
Definitely. Shout out to Trinidad, South especially. And so, yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I like that you're branch off into Trinidad and Tobago as well to offer that experience.
Definitely.
It's a very soothing massage. I'm loving it. Oh gosh. All right, so if persons want to get more information about your massages, where can they go? Where can they contact you to get more information?
So glad you asked. I'm also into content creation also, so they can look at my both Instagram pages, Athlete STS on Instagram, and also my personal page is also linked there.
Okay. Yeah. So they could just call, DM, and they could get a booking.
Definitely, you can DM or you can WhatsApp at 466-6397.
Oh, nice. All right, guys, it was nice meeting Tayon from Athlete. I am going to enjoy the rest of my massage, so we'll take a quick break.
Right, so viewers, we are here at No Man's Land, and listen, it is absolutely beautiful. But besides the beauty, what are you smelling, Jada?
Oh, you smell the food. I'm seeing roast fish, roast corn. A lot of islanders are here and a lot of visitors. We can see both beautiful people from Trinidad and Tobago. They're coming out. Family, it's fun, friends. It's a beautiful sight to see.
So viewers, we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look around, Jada. We're gonna eat, we're gonna taste, we're gonna fill our bellies and show you what No Man's Land has to offer. So stay tuned. So tell me your name, the name of your business, and what would have inspired you to start this business?
Well, my business is called Island Cuisine. It's me simply bringing island food with a cuisine taste. Bringing back stuff like roast breadfruit, roast fish, things that roast plants, we go up and we forget about it, trying to bring it back into existence. When tourists come here, I want them to come and feel like they got a part of Tobago culture with them when they live here. So the food represents the culture, represents me. So when I come here, it represents Tobago, so to speak. So like for example, right now, we have some roast snapper, with the shadow benny, the oko, the full seasoning with no MSG. Like what we started with depending on these days. I my food with no MSG whatsoever, natural seasoning, natural flavors, and it's amazing. And roast pigtail oil down, we do lobsters, chicken, food. I used to work in tourism. I worked in a hotel for like 13 years as an income auditor. And I started interacting with guests as I get more time and started to find out what they come here for. They come to the hotel for food that they get back home. They come for things that they will only get in Tobago. So I just trying to represent Tobago for Tobago. Understand? Pretty soon opening in Boko, very soon Island Cuisine. Come get a taste of the island.
Okay, so what are you distributing right now?
So right now, this young lady want to have roasted breadfruit with baked potatoes, fresh salad, and lobster. And this is our spiny lobster here. It's more succulent than the Chloe lobster. It's more succulent, it's sweeter, it's perfection. Lobsters know to be very careful. You cook it too much, it gets rubber. Cook it too little, it becomes soft. So they be right on time. And we cook them here very alive from the ocean straight to the grill, every time.
All right, so what's your name?
All right, I am Dwayne Skeet. I represent Island Cuisine.
All right, great. So thank you for chatting with us this morning. Yes. All right, so tell me your name of this business, and what would have
my name is Chelsea Harry. What would have motivated us to start this business is due to COVID. You know, due to COVID, you know, everybody lost work and stuff like that. When COVID would have come to an end and people start coming back to the beaches, you know, over here was a place that everybody used to come, and you know, it wouldn't really had no food and stuff like that. So that is what really motivates us to come here to really give persons food. What we have offered to the public, we always have lobster, barbecue chicken, pineapple wings, you know, that is we famous pineapple wings.
I tasted it.
Yeah,
It tasted great.
right. Macaroni pie, chow mein noodles, fried rice, fries, fried plantain, and our stuffed potato. Now our stuffed potato, to get it, you must come early because listen, it has finished real fast, right? So that is what we basically offer right now. We also have like pineapple chow and mango chow, pomsite, whatever fruit in season. That is what we just use.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Chelsea.
No problem.
Right, so tell me your name, what country you're from, and how has your Tobago experience been thus far?
Well, my name is Flo. I am from France, and Tobago is lovely. It's a very, very nice place. I've been doing a tour on the island pools. I've been to Speyside and enjoyed a very nice restaurant by Gemma. So it's been very, very nice up until now, and I love the spirit here. The Tobagoans are very friendly, very welcoming, and it's been a very great experience as far as I know.
All right, thank you very much.
Welcome back, viewers, and this segment is all about wave runners. We are getting ready for the ultimate jet ski experience. Luke, are you excited?
I'm excited. Are you excited?
You don't have to ask me if I'm excited. We're getting ready to head out on the waves and have fun.
So viewers, just stay tuned and see how best this experience is going to be for us. James Stream, Tobago Updates Television News.
It's like the local version of ABC's Shark Tank. With $20,000 on the line, competitors in the 2023 Business Development Unit's Creative Tank are hoping to make the finals of the competition, where they'll deliver a 3-minute pitch on their business model to a panel of industry experts. But before they get to that point, you've got to check out the Facebook page of the Business Development Unit and vote for your favorite entrepreneurs by liking the video of your choice in each category. You've only got till October 10th. This year's categories are promoters, tours, recreation, and mixology. The competition has been turned up.
What we did is hand-selected particular clients on the island, basically for persons to understand the wide range of businesses that Tobago offers. So you, the public, will decide who will be going to the final stage. So this year, our finals will take place in October the 18th. It, of course, will be streamed live. It's a closed session, so it's not like if we're going to be inviting the public to come in, right? So you have the opportunity to watch it on Facebook Live. Currently, we have 17 participants. And on the final day, which is the 18th of October, they will be pitching their ideas like a think tank. So you have a 3-minute pitch, where we will have selected judges who will be judging you based on your delivery. And of course, within that delivery, you have to talk about your financials, where you see your business going in the next 10 to 15 years.
Apart from the $20,000 being awarded to the entrepreneur extraordinaire, $15,000 will go to the most innovative business, $10,000 to the most promising business, and $5,000 to the most engaging entrepreneur. Remember, voting has started, so head over to the Facebook page, Business Development Unit, and vote for your most favorite entrepreneur to hopefully make the finals of Creative Tank 2023 on October 18th.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denicia. Let's go.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With a perfect conversation to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program, which is to inform the public that full payments have been disbursed to the contractor of Vanco Engineering Communication Systems Limited, who was responsible for compensating all workers involved in the Argyle project. However, amidst allegations of unpaid fortnightly wages for September 2023, it is important to note that checks have been signed and collected by Mr. Robert Stevenson, who represents Vanco Engineering Communication Systems Limited. Attempts to contact Mr. Stevenson to resolve the issue have proven futile. The Tobago Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation Program is working on resolving the matter. Meanwhile, the Dragonfield gas agreement with Venezuela, including both domestic gas and LNG, remains confidential, said Energy Minister Stuart Young during the 2024 budget debate. Young also discussed restructuring Atlantic LNG in Point Fortin and praised the PNM government's achievement while criticizing the former People's Partnership Administration's energy management. In response to opposition inquiries, Young emphasized Trinidad and Tobago's strong energy relationship with Venezuela, even in the face of multiple nations' interests. And finally, Rural Development and Local Government Minister Faris Harari reported that his ministry successfully granted over 7,000 jobs in the past fiscal year across various entities. Notably, this effort created over 2,700 jobs in drainage and irrigation, 990 in the municipal police, and 179 in the Rural Development Company, directly benefiting 745,000 people through enhanced services. Harari also discussed digitizing records within the ministry and addressed the impact of delayed public procurement legislation. He emphasized the importance of public funds in serving Trinidad and Tobago citizens, which was supported by government MPs. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds. And viewers, getting into our show this morning, we are being blessed by a full hour of the Secretary of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, Mr. Trevor James, as we discuss what's going on in our budget this morning. So we are now into the phase where the budget debate is taking place in Parliament. Budget debate continues at 1:30 this afternoon. So, I mean, if you're interested to see what some of the ministers have to present, and even some of the benefits or what other plans there are that will impact the people of Tobago. You can tune in at 1:30 on the Parliament channel. But in the meantime, we are here to discuss some more things that's happening in the Tobago space with Mr. James related to the budget. So a special good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Candice. Good morning, Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad.
All right. So first of all, I'm going to start the way that I've started with a lot of other people that has been on in the sense that how do you feel about the figure that was granted, $2.585 billion for Tobago, with an additional $700 million to be spent by other ministries? What are your opinions on that whole allocation and how the THA was dealt with in the national budget?
Candice, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has a responsibility to put out a budget, to put forward a budget for consideration by the Parliament that represents an opportunity for the country to develop, an opportunity for the economy to be reinvigorated, an opportunity for both islands to move forward, to develop the ideals that we are supposed to. Over the years, the evidence is clear that budget after budget after budget, there remains no opportunity for Tobago and for Tobagonians to participate fully in the economic development of Trinidad and Tobago. And the budget continues to be used as a tool to stymie and to prevent Tobago and Tobagonians from developing and from sharing equally, as the Constitution of the Tobago House of Assembly asks, sharing fairly in what is the resources of Trinidad and Tobago. And so the number in itself is inconsequential for me. When you determine that the Assembly has areas under the 5th schedule to build out in Tobago, to formulate policy and implement policy in Tobago, and to govern Tobago under the 5th schedule, and you give a development budget of $260 million, largely to pay salaries, because we have inherited a system where the development programs in almost every division are staffed by persons who are now recurrent people. They've been there working year after year after year. We can't terminate. And so they are essentially recurrent persons who are being placed on development. And so a significant part of the budget is to pay salaries for what is essentially recurrent expenditure. The opportunity for developing Tobago, again, has been lost because the Parliament and the Cabinet seems insistent on arriving at a figure that is the lowest percent of what the law allows them to give. And every calculation is determined by what that is. 4.03 or thereabouts. They want to arrive at that figure. It does not matter what the development needs of Tobago are, and therefore we are stuck in this cycle of trying to build something in Tobago and not being given the resources, while gas and oil have been taken from off Castor and off Charlottesville. So that's where we are.
And I mean, at the gas, there's like over several trillion cubic feet of gas that's been found off the coast of Tobago, which was not spoken about, because I listened very closely to the Minister of Energy when he gave his presentation in the House, and there was no mention in terms of, let's see, of treating with that in terms of Tobago, or the speaking about it in terms of, let's see how much of that allocation will be given to Tobago.
Well, there are some fields that are not developed and that are some way off. The government seems insistent on focusing on Dragon, which is, between Dragon's Mouth of Venezuela and Trinidad, and doing their best, I suppose, to with this little window that the U.S. has given Venezuela, to do something in secret. It amazes me when a minister can stand up in Parliament and say, listen, we have a non-disclosure agreement with another country. And so the country that vote for you to represent them, you can't tell us what that is. And Trinidadians and Tobagonians are silent because essentially, you know, we live in a place where it seems the PNM can do whatever the PNM wants. I want to read something, Candice.
Okay.
Section 43 of the Tobago House of Assembly Act says, in considering the estimates as submitted by the Chief Secretary, Cabinet shall give due consideration to the financial and developmental needs of Tobago in the context of Trinidad and Tobago, and shall allocate financial resources to Tobago fairly as is practicable. Fairly as practicable, and to determine what is fair and practicable, the following considerations, among others, shall apply. And they talk about all those things that we went to dispute resolution and fought for under Hochoy to give us this range for budget. You know, separation from Trinidad and isolation from growth centers and that kind of stuff. Why is it, therefore, that the Cabinet continues to focus on the minimum? There seems to be no consideration for the development needs of Tobago. And I'll give you some examples. Over the last 3-4 years, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has spent more than $500 million building roads to Toco, building roads to Point 14, extreme ends of Trinidad. The one to Point 14 is a project that has been going on over 2 administrations, 8 of the PNM now, and 5 of the UNC before. Close to $8 billion spent on road infrastructure on one road in Trinidad over a decade plus. This year, the budget for that is over $80 million. To continue, Toco Main Road from Valencia to Toco, over the last 3 years, more than $500 million. This year again, I think is plus $60+ million. The highway to Manzanilla, another $60 million allocated in the budget for what is essentially roadworks. In Tobago, Bardock that is failing, $0. Castara that has failed, $0. The development budget for the Division of Infrastructure, as far as we can tabulate, is somewhere between $41 and $47 million for the entire division.
So are you trying to make the argument that for each ministry that has, you know, let me say for Ministry of Infrastructure, if you get $8 billion for the budget, then between 4.3% and 6.9% should be for Tobago?
No, I'm making the point that the law says that the Cabinet shall allocate finances to Tobago fairly and equitably, not according to some number that somebody determines. And we have to begin to insist in Tobago that is what is done, and we have to get our parliamentarians that go to the Parliament to make that argument on our behalf. This 4.03 over the years, we can do nothing with it. Secretary Joel Jack, for 4 years, presented on average budget at over $5 billion. Never got more than 2.5, 2.7 in one instance. PNM to PNM. We have come in and in our 2 years, our budget presentation is averaging at $3.7 billion. We can't get close to that. And we haven't put forward any massive projects. Simple maintenance projects we're talking about, you know. Simple road projects, MRI and stuff at the new equipment at the hospital. Simple things. We can't get the budget for it because somewhere in Trinidad, somewhere in the Parliament, they can determine for us, and there seems to be no arbiter to whatever is presented, and there is coming a time, I believe, and maybe the time is now, where there is need for a different arrangement. This arrangement surely is not working. It hasn't worked. It is not working, and I dare say it will not work. a different arrangement is needed if we are to participate fairly in this union that's been forced upon us.
No, I want to treat with some of the comments that were made by the Minister the MP for Tobago West, Ms. Champa Lewis, in the House yesterday, and she brought up the point that the way that the THA handles their finances is a little bit different from Trinidad, in the sense that the THA, they would get the 2.585 allocation. We know 260 million for developmental and the rest for recurrent and whatnot, but the THA has the ability to disaggregate as they see fit. And she called for accountability from the THA. Now, is the THA in a position to say to the people that they have been good stewards of the money that they received in the previous year?
Candice, I didn't have the pleasure of listening to Mrs. Lewis, and maybe I won't have that pleasure, but that is not the issue. The issue is not whether Tobago should account to Trinidad for the money spent, or whether Tobago should account to some joint select committee. The issue is that whether we are getting a fair share. If we decide, as part of our long-term strategy, that we would save some of that money to focus on a project next year or the year after that, that is our business. That is not the central government or Mrs. Lewis's business. Her duty is to get the government which she's a part of to deal fairly with the people of Tobago and not try to create an environment where the THA cannot deliver. This is what this is. All this is part of the politics where we've come into office. We've been burdened by a debt for projects that clearly questionable, costs are clearly questionable. We've been burdened by a debt of over $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to pay $70 million last fiscal. So we have a debt now of $400+ million. And we have a development budget of $260 million. So the intent clearly is to ensure that nothing is done in Tobago. On one hand, and I want to say they have their contractors, because maybe that's a better way to put it. On the one hand, they're arguing, going to court, fighting all across Tobago last year. Pay us the money, right? On another hand, the government is sending money specifically to pay them, while in Trinidad, there are contractors for projects from 2015, 2014, who have won their matter in High Court, and the cabinet has refused to pay. So we've been burdened by this debt, and our inability to pay. I suppose the intent is to see this big furor in Tobago because we can't pay. But the government is not allowing us to pay. The debt that we incurred, that was incurred by the government in Tobago, was incurred by I want to say juvenile management, but solely incurred by instructions from Trinidad. And yet still, you can't deal with us fairly. And the question for Tobagonians is why? Why is that? Why is that we are still in 2023 burdened by a parliament by a cabinet who seems to be able, and I think, some of us think it's illegal for the cabinet, for the parliament to have the authority to disenfranchise a whole island by law. That must be illegal.
All right, and then we're going to get some more into how are we going to treat with some of those debts and what's the plan, what are things looking like, because in the next little bit, but we have to take a quick break. So viewers, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The energy fill the skies.
25 years of real good dashing food, delicacies, and enjoyment. Well, it come around again as we celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival. This year promises to entice your taste buds again on Sunday, October 15th at Bloody Bay from as early as 10 a.m. All are invited to the celebration filled with craft, games, but most importantly, blue food. This is a brunch-style celebration and will also see the likes of Super Blue, Nyla Blackman, Preety, Gerard Balfour, Joe Archer, Keyshawn Jack, and Junior Calypso star The Shay Saul, and more on Sunday, October 15th, 2023. Come celebrate 25 years of the Tobago Blue Food Festival.
Bad girl from Roxborough, Tobago, but if we go in your day clothes, I rate you. Grew up around good vibes and incense. Grew up in hard times that intense. Shut it as you're reaching at the dance. Use the topic as you're reaching at the dance. My girl, go and drop it as you're reaching at the dance. Making use of your talents when you balance back on the duns. Yes, yes. I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious. Not just beat and leave. You're fed up on the streets. Yes, yes, I know, baby. You want a man who take you serious.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are continuing our conversations this morning with the Secretary of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, Mr. Trevor James, as we discuss some of the things that are coming out of budget, the budget reading that took place last week, Monday, as we prepare for fiscal 2024. So now, before we went to the break, we were talking a little bit about just that whole accountability factor and so on. Some of the things that were raised, and I have to get into it a little bit, that were raised by the minister, the MP for Tobago West, Mr. Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis, in regards to, she made some accusations that the THA went and they made some investments, they built the stage in the sea and so on, and, complaining about how many of Tobago's contractors or benefited from infrastructural projects that happened within the past year compared to how many Trinidadian contractors benefited. And I was just wondering if you could kind of sort of bring some clarity to that narrative that's being put out there.
Candice, every time I come to the public, there seems to be this idea that I should respond to a P&M narrative that's not based on fact. And frankly, I'm tired of it. The narrative is not based on facts, so the discussion itself is pointless. It is not every baseless comment that someone makes that we should respond to. And I think by now, members of the media should be able to dismiss that political rhetoric talk out of hand. We have contracted several Tobago contractors. The couple projects that went to Trinidad contractors, quote unquote. One was to a contractor that has been working in Tobago for the last 20 years under the P&M, that has engaged Tobago subcontractors to do the work. The other one, 90% of the work was subcontracted to Tobago contractors. We needed to find and develop a strategy where we are bringing external funds into Tobago because of budgetary limitation. And we will continue with that strategy. Once it can be determined that we can spread the payment of that commitment over a period of time. Because that seems to be one of the strategies that will work if we are to supplement this budget. And we'll continue to that because Tobagonians, we have to find a way to move the country, move the island forward. And we have to find a way to go around this limiting budget that is given to us every year if we are going to move forward. In the case of Bad Rock, we've been blessed this year. We have not had as much rain. Hopefully, November and December, October and November will not produce as much rain as last year as well. But I tell you, if that happens, Bad Rock is going to come down again, and that road will be cut off.
What is it costing to prepare Bad Rock?
Well, we're doing the design. This is a complicated project. We've gotten the design, and we're now trying to, in the division, because we had a consultant outside of the division develop the design for Bad Rock. And we're now trying to do a rendering for it. I think generally the engineers in-house has accepted the design, going back and forth with the consultant. And we're going to do a rendering to present to the people what the solution that the Division of Infrastructure has come up with for Bad Rock. No doubt it's going to be significant. The design work so far has cost us more than $1 million. And so we will continue to press forward. That was one of the projects in the budget that we presented, $0. We are struggling still to find monies to finish off Castara. I think, everybody praised the division for going into Castara and opening that road and cutting down the mountain and all of that. We still need to protect the mountain, build the necessary tow walls and drains and so on, and to pave that road. We can't find the money to do it. We scrape it.
And is there a costing to that infrastructure as yet?
There's costing for it, but I don't have the detailed costing here. But what I'm saying is that, in principle, the projects we present in our budget are not given any consideration because the Parliament, the two members of Parliament for Tobago, the Cabinet, seems desirous only on getting to 4.03. That cannot be fair, and that is not fair according to the law. The development budget for Trinidad is $6.2 billion. You understand that, $6.2 billion as opposed to $260 million, where in Tobago, significant parts of that $260 million is going to be spent on recurrent wages. We can't develop an island. We are not presenting a budget that will move Tobago forward, that would bring economic activity, that would, we're not doing that. We are constrained. We can't import into Tobago. How do we in Tobago move the country forward? How do we move the island forward? We've been constrained by the laws. We've been constrained by the government. We've been constrained by the police. We've been constrained by the legal, by the EMA and so on. What do we do? That, to me, has to be illegal.
Is there any solution being considered at this point in time? Because when you talk to the business community and so on, they would tell you that the economy in Tobago has not been doing that great, in the sense that because there has been less infrastructural projects happening in the island, less construction happening, there isn't that much flow of the money around. So that was one of the complaints about this current THA administration. Are there any plans to increase construction, increase infrastructural project in the next fiscal year? I
don't know how to respond to that. I think people don't understand what has happened. In the year under 6-6 that led up to us winning in December 2021, in that year, the PNMs committed over $600 million. That was an abnormal year. Throughout COVID from 2020, actually. The expenditure in Tobago, where they borrowed that $100 and $300 million, where they overcommitted all the money, it was an extra abnormal expenditure in Tobago that nobody could compare to. We just can't. We have come in, we've been burdened by the debt, we've been burdened by the commitment, and we have had this year we have had a reduced budget again. But you're saying that we've spent money to Trinidad contractors, and the money not circulating in Tobago. But at the same time, you're saying we ain't spending enough money. I don't understand. The budget has been depleted. We're not spending enough money. There seems to be a comparison being made between abnormal years, 2021, 2020, to when we have come into office. But I can tell you that the data we have suggests that 2018, 2017, and what we have done is we have done far more than was done in 2017, 2016, 2015, back to 2010.
Can you quantify that though? What does that equal to in dollars and cents?
Well, it's not so much in dollars and cents, it's in terms of projects achieved. It will be a deep dive analysis to determine what the benefit was from this expenditure, and I come prepared for that today. But from what was achieved by us in 1.5 years, as opposed to what was achieved from 2010 to 2019, I mean, the evidence is clear in Tobago. We have come in and we have built out major pieces of infrastructure in Tobago. The lay-by in Scarborough that seems to be hurting everybody in Trinidad. I don't know why. A little lay-by in Scarborough. Scarborough has been undeveloped. Nothing has been happening. There's no space. We've come in and we've looked at Scarborough and we say, you know, we need to create space in Scarborough, infrastructure in Scarborough. We've built bypass roads. We've built a lay-by that everybody seems to want to use. And yet still PNM people vex. Any development we undertake, we try to build a road in Friendship. Big drama to delay us. Every development project that we have attempted, the PNM has been against, and that is not a new thing. After Flora, the PNM government in Trinidad took that money that was donated to Tobago and spent it in Trinidad. The link road from Lansfomé to Charlottesville, monies came from the European Union for that road. Eric and his boys took it and spent, not Eric, the PNM took it and spent it in Trinidad. Up to today, the bill is still outstanding to be paid. The contractor want to take us to court to pay that bill. So it's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. Once things have been done in Tobago, the PNM has been against it. And so Tobagonians can't be so blinded by these small criticisms that we get. That is expected, and despite the criticism, we'll move forward.
Now, I noted with interest that there was a lack of mention about Tobago's loan facility. In the previous budgets, it was talked about basically a $300 million facility or allowance for Tobago to be able to borrow. And that was not mentioned in this budget. Is it that's no longer on the table for the THA? Or
I think loan facilities available. I think the past administration borrowed $150 or $140 million of that. So there remains an opportunity for us to borrow down on that and to find a way to pay it back. I think there's a bullet payment coming up for that this year as well. So that might be available, and when we meet to strategize and to reorganize ourselves based on the money that we've been given, I'm sure that conversation will come up, and the Executive Council will take a decision as to how or what we will do if we will put the THA into further debt in order to meet our commitments and our desires today.
All right, well, we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we come back after the break. So viewers, please don't go anywhere. We just got to take this little break.
As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky. Slow motion, baby. Loving gives me fever. I feel like there's a butt in the ring, sha la 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 la. There's a butt in the ring,
your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, viewers. And we are continuing our conversation this morning with the Secretary of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, Mr. Trevor James, as we discussed fiscal 2024, the budget that was just read. Now, looking ahead, I want to get into, I know that the THA still has to, the Executive Council still has to go into the retreat to make their determinations about exactly how they are going to utilize the money that's been given to them, how they're going to prioritize projects and so on. But just looking at the figures and looking at what is needed to be done, how are we going to take the infrastructure part of Tobago forward? What are we going to be looking at in the next fiscal year to be investing in?
Well, Candace, we will continue with the strategy of design, build, finance, and delayed payment through that process. That way, we bring some local non-government money into Tobago. That seems to be where we need to go. At the division, we are discussing how we can make the division more efficient, make the staff more efficient to do a lot more projects in-house. And so we are hopeful that we can build out a more high-performing development team to begin to execute more of the works in-house. So that's in the making. We've had meetings with the development coordinator, and we are hoping to build that out more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
We have been given a new technical officer, a position that has been dormant for more than a decade, and suddenly the CPO, I suppose, has just decided, you know what, let's give them a Trinidadian TO. And so they've appointed somebody acting as TO. And so we have some human resource around which we can build. And Tobago will see, hopefully next year, a lot more work being done in-house by the development team, given, of course, the limitation in the budget that we have. That's one way. We are hopeful that the Scarborough project will start sometime in this fiscal. We've almost completed the procurement process that we've engaged in to bring on a serious investor to take on that project. And we now need to involve the other arms of the state into the project. We have determined that we would meet with the Port Authority, the Ministry of Works, the Ministry of Planning, the EMA, and so on, to ensure the Ministry of Energy to ensure that we have buy-in, given the system that we have, so that the project in fact could move forward. So we're hopeful still that there will be some buoyancy in the economy from construction works, and we know that construction works, generally infrastructure works, creates this spur in the economy, and we're hopeful still, given even with the limitation, that we can still deliver to the people of Tobago. You know, the division in itself, I mean, I am sure people have seen the improvements. We have taken a concerted decision to ensure that we are delivering every year throughout the term. That seems to be clear. We're not going to wait for an election year to try to deliver some road or some drain somewhere. And I think that has been working for the people, and the demands for services from the division is so great because when you fix Speyside or you fix King Peter Bay, you know that the demand from everybody else will increase, and so we struggle with the demand, but we have developed a project pipeline, and we're going to schedule them based on the financial resources we have. All I am asking is that for every member of the Division of Infrastructure to make a decision that this is our Tobago, and we must come out and give 110% if we are to build this thing. Nobody, no government, no Trinidadian, no cabinet is going to help us. The evidence we have is clear that everything out of Port of Spain has been designed to constrain us, and we have to use our abilities that we have to develop this island. This is our responsibility. I'm appealing to the staff to let's give 110%. Let's build our Tobago. This is what we want. This is that the change start from us, and let's maximize the resources that we have.
Now, one of the things that you pioneered when you took office is that of the Smart Up initiative, fix a road, just to spot a pothole and post it up on this app and hopefully see it get fixed.
Yes.
What's been happening with that? How has that been working?
Well, it's a great app. I think we've been swamped. We didn't anticipate the amount of back-end work that would have been required to manage the app. The app is still functioning. We still need to find the resources to do the back-end work behind the scenes, and to somehow link that to the executing arm of the division, the executing arms of the division. But I think basically we've been swamped. But even notwithstanding all that, the potholes and patching to me is increased significantly. I think the development team, districts East and West, they're doing a great job, in my opinion. There are some trouble areas that require more intensive work. There is Hampden to all fields that we're going to do this year. We're going to finish off all fields proper this year. We are hoping to bring some relief to the people in Roselle in-house. And so I ask the public to bear with us. Surely and clearly the resources we have are limited, and we can't fix everybody at the same time. And so we if you see what's happening, we patching in the east, we patching in the north, we patching in the west, but we can't get to everybody, we at the same time. And so while we make choices, we will eventually get to everybody.
You mentioned earlier we're going to be focusing a bit more on the public-private partnerships in terms of the build financing, the bolt arrangements and so on, or something similar to that nature. What projects are you eyeing specifically in fiscal 2024 for those arrangements?
Well, those projects will be determined after we meet, and sit and we reprioritize the projects that we will focus on. We will make an announcement. It is required now, actually, that we put those projects up on our websites because of the new procurement law. So after we meet and we've come up with a firm set of projects that we will focus on, it will be advertised. These are what we're going to focus on, and we would go through the procurement for those as they come up. But I want to tell you, the employees at the division, that one of the things we will do for the division, I think, when we've come into office, a lot of the assets and the amenities in the division has not been maintained properly. The building that was built before the time I started working at Works by Dr. Boris and at the time is severely run down. We have leaks from the roof. We have not had a real facilities management plan, and so we have on design another building that we want to build on the compound. As you know, most of the other divisions are paying extremely large sums in rental every month. We at the division have been lucky not to be paying those rents, but we hopefully going to build a new building in this fiscal, and we'll find after we build that other staff building, we're going to repair the one that we have so that our staff can feel incentivized to perform. I think we do a good job as we are, but we need to find a way to motivate our staff throughout the THA if we are going to get better performance from the public sector. And at the division, we hope to do that.
All right, great. And also, what are some of the coastal works that you all are looking at? Because that's also a major concern as we're having these increased incidents of coastal erosion happening around.
I was trying to find the figure that was given for coastal protection, and I think it is below. It is just about $1 million, and that in itself tells the tale of lack of consideration and lack of fairness coming out of the cabinet. All right, we're now finishing a study from Pigeon Point to Sandy Point because of rising tides along the coast from Crown Point on the Atlantic side. Lambo, the seas coming in. Kendall, the seas coming in. Roxborough, we did a revetment at Queens Bay, I think is the name of the bay. In Delaford at Queens Bay, there's a guy who lives close to the beach who's been calling for help to retain his property. Around the island, I'm told that, well, Back Bay in Plymouth is almost gone. The road is almost gone. Grange Bay is slipping away. There's been a crack by the first pole at the end of the stretch, and then on the little beach in the back before Norton Day there, that's falling as well. The whole of Fort James seem to be sinking, and so there's a significant amount of money to be spent in coastal protection, and the government seems to be unwilling to work with the THA to ensure that we are building a resilient Tobago where everybody can benefit, and seemingly continuing this idea that everything that's done in Tobago should be controlled from Trinidad. You know, when you come here and you see that a ministry that has responsibility under the 6th and 7th schedule will spend $700+ million, and the THA, with all of the 5th schedule, will only have $260 million. That tells you the tale, you know. And so Tobagonians have to wise up, and I think we have been. I don't want to make this comparison, but maybe I should. What's going on now in Israel and Palestine is the result of years of Israel controlling everything that goes in and out of Palestine, where the people of Palestine have to retaliate. We are maybe 50 years away from that, where everything in Tobago, going in and out of Tobago, is controlled in Trinidad. One of the reasons, maybe the only reason for the extraordinary demand for flights and connection to Trinidad is because our demand for goods and services can only be filled in Trinidad. And so we have year after year that stress on whoever is running the air services, whoever is running the sea connections to meet the demand. Every year, there are no two islands in the region where you have 20 and 30 flights going between the two islands, none. And we have to find a way in Tobago to build out a series of structural independence in Tobago. if we had to change that demand, if we had to reduce the demand for goods and services in Trinidad, we have to build the structures in Tobago that allow us to function independently of Trinidad.
Where are we now in getting Tongue and Country under the control of the THC?
Well, as you know, we went to the House. I think that process is probably 90% complete. And I too am hopeful that it will be done in this fiscal. I think what I've been told is that there is some documents, some series of documents that the Ministry of Planning should send to the THA, and we're waiting on that last step. I think we've already prepared the PRDI building for that move. So the plan is almost complete. I admit that it's been a bit slow, but I'm sure that it will be done this year.
Mm-hmm. And then when that comes on board, would there be a policy for the Town and Country in terms of like how we treat with development? Because with the environment changing in the sense of, you know, the effects of climate change, whether it is the coastal erosion that's taking place and so on, or the increase or the more intensity of weather systems that we are experiencing, is there any consideration to change in the way that we build and we do infrastructure in Tobago so that we are a bit more resilient to those weather patterns?
I think we've had in Trinidad and Tobago no real established building codes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's one of the ways we will go. No doubt a spatial plan for Tobago for the next 50, 60 years is required. How are we going to use the lands that we have and for what purposes? The Division of Settlements, I think, has that kind of responsibility, and maybe they would undertake that. We are working at the Town and Country planning under our old 1960-something legislation, and I'm sure that's one of the areas we can formulate policies on and say and go to the Parliament and say, listen, this is the law that we want to have in Tobago. Our own separate building codes, as you know, although we are essentially outside the hurricane belt, we are more in hurricane belt than Trinidad is, and therefore we generally need a different code than Trinidad. And that's one of the areas which we can specially identify ourselves as being a little unique from Trinidad. We can have separate codes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of planning work is hopefully going to be done by the Department of Planning. But I can see that's where we should be going.
And even with the projects that are being undertaken in-house, is there consideration to making sure that those projects are a bit more resilient than projects that have been done in the past to the changing systems that we have now?
Well, you know, we are about that. You know, when we especially when we do coastal watertight protection projects. So we've done that revetment at Bacalet opposite the health center.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been trying to go upstream to prevent, because the wing walls have been failing, not only by that bridge, but several bridges. And so we're trying to come up with solutions that are a little bit more natural. Hopefully, we'll find a way to soften the stone look with some grass material on it or something like that. But we are attempting to build more sustainable solutions at the division, and that's a conversation that we've had, and we'll continue to try to do that kind of stuff. But surely we expect that if we build things under my watch, that they will be resilient and they'll be long lasting.
All right, great. That's something that we're definitely going to be holding you to in the future. So I want to thank you so much, Mr. James. We are out of time for our conversation this morning, but it was certainly a pleasure speaking with you and just getting a little bit into some of the plans that the division has.
It's always a pleasure to be here, Candice, and anytime I'm available.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And viewers, thank you certainly for watching. Have a safe and wonderful day. And don't forget, you can catch brunch coming up at 10 a.m. this morning, so you want to stay tuned for that. Take care and bye for now.
Wake up with Candace and Denise. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.